Hey, what's cracking everybody? Welcome back to Computer Games Hardware. Today on the channel, we got a good one for you guys. We are doing some computer games hardware news. First one for the year. Welcome back to 2024, everyone, and let's get stuck into it. Well, it's only the start of the year, guys, but chock full of news, so let's get into the headlines. There's a couple of things, so we like to pick a few topics here at Computer Games Hardware to munch on for the week, but let's have a look at the first one, which I found really interesting, was that Steam announced that their Steam Awards for 2023, and it's a bit of a mixed bag, if you ask me. So, of course, as you might expect, the game of the year was none other than my game of the year for 2023. It is Baldur's Gate 3, an amazing title. We all know that. Game of the year at Game Awards as well. So, chock full, but they also had some interesting choices, the folks at Steam who vote on the Steam Awards. So first one of the interesting ones is the VR game of the year was Labyrinthine, which is really interesting. So if you're a VR player, go and check it out. That's what the Steam players voted of VR game of the year. Sort of like a creepy survival horror type game going on there. But then they had some other interesting choices, you Steam players out there who voted on the Steam Awards. So Labor of Love was won by Red Dead Redemption 2. Really interesting to me. Red Dead 2, it's been out for a little while now. I get that it's a labor of love and the developers have looked after it. I mean, it is Rockstar after all, and it's had a lot of patches and things like that. But it's the labor of love of 2023, that one really made me scratch my head. Another interesting one was that the best Steam Deck game was Hogwarts Legacy. I don't own a Steam Deck, and I haven't heard much, to be honest, about how well it plays on the Steam Deck, but I thought it was interesting that people really like Hogwarts Legacy specifically for the Steam Deck. That's pretty interesting. Atomic Heart won the best visual style, so that's going right back to the start of the year. And Atomic Heart did have a really dynamic sort of Russian Cold War visual style, which is really popping. So that's probably a good one there. Interesting that it held its lead for so long, and it didn't give into recency bias, which tends to happen with stuff like that. So that's probably a pretty good pick for me. All right, next up was the best game you suck at, and that was awarded to Sifu, a game that released in 2021. So quite a few baffling choices with the Steam Awards for 2023. It's really confusing to what we're voting for here. In Game of the Year, it's pretty cut and dry. You've got Baldur's Gate 3 up against Resident Evil 4, and makes sense. But then you've got Sifu, you've got Hogwarts Legacy in there. It's a really mixed bag. The award for sitting back and relax went to Dave the Diver. Now, I don't know if you guys played Dave the Diver, but it was in my top 10 of the year. And Dave the Diver it can be a very chill and relaxing and entertaining story. But when you get into it, man, you're smashing those buttons. It's a bit of a button masher, and particularly when you get into the serving the sushi, it's like racing and panicked and really sort of like frantic gameplay. So interesting to see that in the kick back and relax. But anyway, there it is. The gamers voted on it, so there you go. Last but not least, Starfield has won the most innovative gameplay award. Now, I don't know about you guys, but a a lot of people didn't find Starfield the most innovative game of the year. In fact, that was probably one of its biggest criticisms, that it was, Skyrim in space not being as modern, particularly in a year where Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty all played out. Jeff Kanata from the DLC podcast on their favorite games of 2023, to paraphrase him, his comments were something like, was it innovative? No. Did I enjoy it? Yes. It's okay to like Starfield, guys. It's a fun game, and there is a community around it. And as we've said on Computer Games Hardware many a time, it's just going to get better and better as mods and updates and things like that come out. There's no need to justify enjoying Starfield. It's a fine game in and of itself, and people should be able to enjoy it without having to come up with reasons like most innovative gameplay. While we're talking about Jeff Kanata and the DLC pod, those guys are celebrating their 10 years of the podcast. So I'm a big fan of them. Big shout out to those guys. Jeff and Christian, congratulations on the 10 years of the podcast. And they just released a YouTube video, so you can catch them on YouTube. I will link to them in the show notes down below. So shout out to you guys. Congratulations from 10 years. You guys should all check them out. That's the DLC podcast and YouTube channel. All right, next up on Computer Games Hardware news, some Switch 2 news. There is a very cool website called GameIndustry.biz, and every year they do a predictions for the year, and they've got some pretty interesting ones on the list. So the main one I want to focus in on is Switch 2. If you saw our last video of all the exciting hardware we're looking for in 2024, I mentioned that the consoles is surprisingly some of the things that I'm looking forward to. Switch 2 has been identified as one of the new consoles that's coming in 2024, or at least being announced. And some of the guys on Game Industry Biz have predicted that the announcement for the Switch 2 is coming, and it's going to be more expensive, hovering around the $400 mark. So that's probably US. That would make it like $600 to $700 here in Australia. So that would actually give me the shits a little bit. They're also calling out that they predict that the games will be more expensive. And I don't know about you guys, but Nintendo like to keep their game prices already pretty high. So in Australia, a $60 game usually retails for about $79.99. So that's quite expensive for Nintendo titles, particularly with the Switch. It's been a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, particularly in the twilight years of the Switch, on those pretty expensive games when you're not getting the visual fidelity and things like that you'd expect from a AAA title. Now, that's not to say that the titles are not excellent, like Super Mario Wonder. We reviewed it on the channel. We loved it here. So that's not to say that the quality's bad, but it is a bitter pill to swallow, the price of Switch games, particularly at this late time in its life cycle. So if the games get even more expensive than that, touting the new features that it's set to have, that will be pretty disappointing. I think that will be a little bit of a failure, particularly when they're reporting that the Switch 2 will be a iteration and not a revolution. So they're predicting that it is going to be similar to the Switch, and they identify Pokemon as being one of the contributors to that, because we all know that Pokemon is a very handheld type of game, and that's what's selling copies. So they're not going to disrupt that and it probably makes sense. They probably want to have a bit of an iteration, so the next big revolution comes along in the next generation. That sort of tracks for me, but it concerns me that what the cost of the console is, particularly if it's not an innovation, and it's just a switch to update and refresh. Sure, they'll do lots of things. We've heard a lot of stuff about DLSS. New rumors suggest that it's going to be like frame generation and DLS 3.5. I don't subscribe to those theories. I don't think that you are going to get a Switch 2 successor that's going to outperform your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox Series X with those type of features and hardware. So they might implement versions of that, but that's going to get them running at 4K 60 or something similar, or 4K 30 even. So I think that's what they're trying to hit. They're trying to upscale to those things. So I wouldn't be counting on next generation performance from the Switch 2 iterations. It's probably going to level or come in just a little bit under current gen hardware specs. They've also mentioned that there is going to be some, revisions like the PS5 Pro or evolutions of the current gen consoles, which, as we mentioned in our previous video, that's some hardware that we're looking forward to getting that sweet 4K 60 spot. So hopefully they're spot on there. I'm a bit worried about price. We know everything's going up, and gaming's becoming a more and more expensive hobby. But hopefully that is tempered, and Nintendo come to their senses a little bit and are not using the Switch 2 as a massive cash grab for performance that we probably already expect in 2024. All right, another little interesting tidbit from GameIndustry.biz was that female Indian gamers will surpass 40% of total players in 2024. So they're saying that research shows, when excluding mainland China, 46% of gamers in Asia and MENA, which is Middle East and Northern Africa, I believe, are female. However, this drops to 34% when we isolate India, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt and the UAE. So with increased initiatives for women gamers in these markets, more exclusive games, and 2 times faster growth of the rate of female gamers compared to male, we project that female gamers will account for a larger share of the gaming population in the next 3 years. You gamer girls out there, I reckon from a little small sample, I can give you a peek behind the curtain. We've had a huge increase in subscribers here at Computer Games Hardware, so hi to all our new subscribers out there. But a lot of you are Indian gamer girls and women, so big shout out to you guys. Shout out to all our Indian friends who subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate your support. Let me know in the comments down below. What are you looking forward to? What are you playing? Get subscribed if you're not subscribed already, because come on this journey with us on Computer Games Hardware, and we'll talk about some games and hardware and all the new stuff that's coming out. So what are you guys looking forward to? Are you looking forward to Nintendo Switch 2? New handhelds, PC games, what's the deal? Thanks for watching, guys. The PS5 Pro that is rumored to be announced in 2024 may include AI upscaling due to some of the hacks and leaks from the Insomniac Wolverine leaks, which we did a video on recently. So check that one out if you haven't seen that one. So in one of the slides, it talks about all the technology that's been put into Marvel's Wolverine, better facial animations, global illumination, texture filtering, all that good stuff that we expect. But it also talks about AI upscaling that will help the game target, you heard it, 60 frames a second as a minimum. So they're using AI to get to the baseline. So that's a little bit worrying for me. I want my AI upscaling to be smashing me those frames when I'm playing GTA 6, like Marvel's Wolverine. I want to be hitting like 150, 200 FPS. But they're using it in its infancy to maintain 60 frames a second at 4K, which is a good start. So some of the leaks and rumors which I missed, I did have a look at some of those slides there, but that's one that I didn't pick up on. It indicates that they're thinking about these things, targeting 4K, 60 frames per second. They're thinking about AI upscaling in the new and next generation of console hardware and gaming, and they're implementing those games in games like Marvel's Wolverine that is set to be released in 2025, which makes me think that implementations will be used in GTA 6 and a lot of the AAA games coming from now into the future. So AI is definitely here to stay. We're going to see an interesting implementation of it in Marvel's Wolverine. What do you guys think? Do you think using AI and upscaling to reach 4K 60 is a good thing, or should we be pushing the hardware even further? The interesting thing for me is that some of the gaming monitors that are coming out are really pushing like 240 hertz in 4K. There's some new Visa standards that are coming out that are pushing that even further, and we're only catching up to upscaling hitting 4K 60. So there's a little bit of a disconnect in the capability of the hardware, such as GPUs and things like that, and console games, console hardware. The display technology is far surpassing what the PC and gaming hardware can do at the moment, and games are sort of lagging way behind here. So it's really interesting to see that people are going to be pushing for new monitors and things that have like 500 hertz monitors at 1080p and all this crazy stuff, when we're using our upscaling technology just to push our games across the line. It's a real weird dichotomy to me that all these three things are in play at once. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the next generation of GPUs, hardware, and gaming consoles are going to keep up? And what are the games going to be doing? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think that those leaks and rumors and things like that track together? If they're saying that Marvel's Wolverine is targeting AI upscaling for the PS5 Pro, does that mean it's going to compete with the Switch 2? Who knows? Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I always enjoy making computer games hardware for you guys, and big hello to all our new followers. Thank you very much for your support. It's really warmed my heart. I really appreciate having you guys here. So stick around with us. We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming. I'll keep making these for you guys if you keep watching them, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you next time. That was a good one, Spidey.